Let us continue with Chapter 7, Indian Economy. Today we are going to learn Indian economy after independence. After the British rule, India was ruined economically. Post-independence, there were several major economic challenges before India. Today, India exhibits characteristics of a developing country, with some areas having lesser development and some showing much development. Overall, in current times, India can be termed as a mixture of less developed as well as developing country. Now let us learn India's economy after independence, or we can say India's post-independence economy. First is per capita income. According to Human Development Report, the per capita income of India in 2013 at purchasing power parity was $5,150. This was not only lower than that of developed countries but also lower than many developing countries like China, with per capita income of $11,477, and Sri Lanka with per capita income of $9,250. Second is agriculture. India has always been an agrarian country. Although the share of agricultural sector in employment has gradually declined, but still it is relatively higher. India's higher agriculture development and lesser development of industries and service sector has resulted in lower economic development. As per Human Development Report, during independence, about 72% of the population was dependent on agriculture. This has decreased to 58% in 2001-2002 and to 49% in 2013-14. Developed nations have lesser percentage employment in agriculture and higher in the industrial and service sectors. Third is industries. Post-independence India developed well in industrial sector. The contribution of industrial sector in employment and national income has increased over time. Contribution in employment, if we say, then in 1950-51, the share of industries in employment was 10.6%. This has increased to 18.2% in 2001 and further 24.3% in 2011-12. If we see contribution in national income, then in 1950-51, the industries had their share of 16.6%, and this has increased to 26% in 2013-14. This is from CSO, that is Central Statistical Organization, from where we got the data. Today, 2/3 of the export earnings are earned from the industrial sector. Although the industrial sector is progressing, India cannot be called a completely industrialized nation. Fourth, service sector. Contribution in employment was, in 1951, the share of service sector in employment was 17.3%. This has increased to 25.2% in 2001 and further to 27% in 2011-12. Contribution in national income, if we see that, then in 1951, the share of service sector in national income was 30.3%. This increased to 38% in 80-81, 50.4% in the year 2000-2001 and further to 52.7% in 2014-15. From such a rapid increasing share of service sector, we can say that India is moving fast on the path of growth and development. Fifth is population growth. The growth rate of population in India is one of the reasons for its lesser development. After independence, population in India has grown annually by 1.5%, which means there is population explosion in India. In 1901, the population of India was 23.84 crores. It increased to 36.1 crores in 51, 102.7 crores in 2001, and further 121.02 crores in 2011. Such high population growth rate has always remained a matter of concern for Indian development. Sixth, poverty. One of the main characteristics of Indian economy is a very high level of absolute poverty. Though percentage of population living below poverty line has declined over years, it is still quite high. In 1973-74, about 59.9% of population lived below poverty line. It then declined to 45.3% in 93-94, to 37.2% in 2004-05. and further to 21.9% in 2011-12. Unemployment. India has been facing several problems of structural unemployment. Structural unemployment refers to a form of unemployment caused by a mismatch between the skills that workers in the economy have and the skills demanded by employers. In 1951, 33 lakh people were unemployed. In 1999-2000, 7.31% of total population were unemployed. This increased to 8.2% in 2004-2005. Sources was NSSO, that is the National Sample Survey Organization. The good side is that the unemployment decreased to 6.6% in 2009-10 and further to 5.6% in 2011-12. The proportion of disguised unemployment is higher in rural areas. Disguised unemployment cannot be exactly measured. Eighth is human development. Average life expectancy, literacy, gender ratio, infant mortality rate, etc. are various indices that measures the human development. On studying these characteristics, we can see that India stands at lower rank in human development over the world. One such index is the Human Development Index, HDI. India's HDI in 2000 was 0.463, in 2010 was 0.547, 2012 0.554 and in 2013 0.586. These measures of the HDI are very low. In 2013, India's rank was 136 in a list of 187 countries, which shows that India's HDI is very low. And HDI is always measured between 0 and 1. So, the highest developed country will have a ratio nearer to 0.1. Now, let us learn the characteristics of India as a developing economy. Although India's progress has been slow, it cannot be considered as a less developed country. India's economy shows several characteristics of a progressing economy. Some of them are: first, growth rate or economic growth. The growth rate of the economy, especially after the LPG, that is liberalization, privatization, globalization, came in 1991, it has increased. During the period between 1950-51 and 1990-91, the average annual growth rate was around 3.5%. But after economic reforms of 1991, the growth rate has increased and it is above 6.8%, which is an important achievement. After 2012-13, the growth rate has slowed down. In 2014-15, the average annual growth rate was less than 5%. In 1950-51, the net national product NNP, that is at a constant price level, was 2,69,724 crores. It increased to 87,51,834 crores in the year 2013-14. Thus, in a period of 63 years, the NNP, that is the net national product, has grown by 18 times. Second is changing share of various sectors in national income and employment. A less developed nation's major income comes from agriculture. As a nation develops, the contribution from other sectors comes in national income and employment changes. Under such condition, the contribution of industries and service sector in the employment and hence national income increases compared to agriculture sector. People's dependency on agriculture sector also reduces. Growth in industrial sector improves technology and increases the capital. This generates more employment in the industrial sector and service sector rather than agriculture. From the data, we can conclude that post-independence, the share of agriculture in the national income has decreased over the years and that of industrial and service sector has increased. Third, per capita income. In 1950-51, the per capita income of India at constant price was 7,114. It increased to 69,959 in 2013-14. Thus, in a period of 63 years, the per capita income increased by approximately 5.6 times. Between 50-51 and 1991, the per capita income has increased by about 1.6%, while after 1991, it increased by 5.5%. Fourth is level of employment. The employment is studied in three sectors. They are primary sector, industrial sector, and service sector. This sector includes agriculture and allied activities, dairy farming, and animal husbandry. That is in your primary sector. Second is industrial sector. All activities that consist of production such as manufacturing, constructing, mining, quarrying, etc. are included in industrial sector. Third is service sector. Service sector includes all the activities related to trade, banking, transport, information and broadcasting, health, education, etc. You can see in the table where you can see that primary sector provides highest employment opportunity among all the sectors in 50-51. This has reduced drastically by 2011-12 and it has increased the contribution of industries and service sector. Thus, it can be seen that from the year 51 to 2011-12, the employment largely shifted from primary sector to industrial sector and service sector. There's improvement in basic or primary utilities. India has shown significant improvement in providing various utilities in the urban as well as in the rural areas. These are discussed as first, irrigation. In 50-51, only 22.6 million hectares of land across India used to get irrigation facility. This increased to 63 million hectares, that is 45% of total agricultural land by 2012-13. Second is literacy. In 50s, there were 20 universities and 500 colleges. Increased to 719 universities and 35,000 colleges by 2013-14. This indicates that higher education increased considerably in India. In 1951, India's literacy rate was 18.33%. This increased to 73% in 2011. This is from the source of Economic Survey from 2013-14. The last is electricity. In 1950-51, India used to generate around 2300 megawatt electricity. This increased to 2,43,000 megawatt in 2011-12. Road network. Today, India falls among the list of countries with longest road network. India has approximately 48.6 lakh kilometers of concrete roads today. Railway. Today, Indian railway network is the fourth largest in the world with a length of 65,000 kilometers. Overall, India is progressing fast and is emerging as a country having strong economy. On the brighter side, India's per capita consumption of essential commodities and average life expectancy has increased. We are progressing in areas of science, research and technology development and so on. As per the International Comparison Program, ICP, initiated by the World Bank, in 2011, India was identified as the third largest country after USA and China. In 2005, India was at the 10th position.